What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome to another episode of reacting to NBA trades that you guys give me on the community tab. And today, we're going to be reacting to your Joel Embiid trade ideas. So I did post this on my community tab yesterday for you guys to give me some Joel Embiid trade ideas. We did sort this by top comment. You guys gave me 500 comments. Obviously, we're not going to be able to go through all of them because a lot would be repetitive and we'd be here while kind of discussing the same trades. So we're going to go through like the first 20 or so, 25 that can kind of give us like an idea of what you guys are saying. Wow, I have the hiccups. All right, let's go. So first one is from Todd Haysbrook. He goes, 76ers get Joel Embiid, Nets get Caris LeVert, Allen, Claxton, Caruks first and a second. Before I talk about that one, I kind of forgot to discuss. I usually discuss my opinion on the player before we get into the trades. Now, I don't think the Sixers should blow it up with Embiid and Simmons and trade one of them. I think if they were to trade one of them, it should be Embiid. But I think they should go the route of trying to get a Chris Paul or a Buddy Hield around Simmons and around Embiid and go that route instead of trying to just blow it up and trading Embiid. Because, yeah, we can talk about how good Caris LeVert is. Definitely still has potential to be a good scoring option. And he's going to keep developing. He's going to be going to his new contract extension next year, so he'll be making about like 17, 16 mil. Jared Allen could definitely be obviously the Joel Embiid replacement, but his peak is definitely not a top 5 center in the league, and that's where Joel Embiid is. You could say Joel Embiid is 1 or 2, depending on what you count Anthony Davis. And then you have like Karl-Anthony Towns, but you might have Jokic 1 now, and then you have Embiid 2. Either way, he's a top 2 center in the league. If the Sixers were to put him on the market, I think they can get something better than that because those firsts and seconds aren't going to be high at all. So unless they really like Claxton or Caruks, I don't think the Nets or the Sixers, would want to do that. So here we go. We got a 3-teamer. Love these from Ryan Gregory. So the Warriors would be getting Joel Embiid. Why not? Sixers get Bradley Beal, Eric Paschall, and the 2021 Minnesota top 3 protected pick. Honestly, that's a pretty nice haul for Embiid. You're getting Beal and a pretty solid first-round pick and a good young player in Paschall. But I think this is where the trade wouldn't go through. The Wizards get Andrew Wiggins, 2020 second, a 2020 first from Philly. That's 21. And they get a 2021 Golden State pick unprotected. I mean, I would think, okay, if that was pick 2, I think this would maybe be talked about. I think if that was maybe pick 2 instead of their 2021 unprotected first, because that pick is not going to be much at all. But if that was pick 2 and the Wizards are like, all right, we get a first, a late second, or an early second, a late first this year, Wiggins, but then we could also draft a Wiseman or LaMelo Ball. I don't know. Maybe they would do that for Beal, but I don't think so. I would have to be number 2, I believe, instead of the 2021. Because then this is a horrible deal for the Wizards if that's the Warriors pick next year. But if it's their pick this year, honestly, you could think about this for all the parties involved. Because the Sixers get a good shooter next to Ben Simmons. They get Eric Paschall, a good forward, and they get a future asset in that first. The Warriors obviously get Joel Embiid for basically Wiggins and 2 first-round picks that I think they should be willing to give up for Joel Embiid. And then the Wizards would get Wiggins, the 21st pick in this draft, a high second from the Warriors, which I believe would be pick 31. And then if that is instead the 2021 Golden State pick and it's a 2020 pick, that's number 2. And then I could see the Wizards thinking about that offer. But that is very interesting, honestly. I do like that idea. Mason says Pelicans get Joel Embiid and Shake Milton. Sixers get Brandon Ingram, Derek Favors, JJ Redick, Josh Hart, 2 first-round picks, and 1 second. That's a really good return, I feel like, for Philly because you're getting a great young player in Ingram. Can he play next to Simmons? Probably could. Derek Favors, Redick, 2 vets. You get Redick back in Philly, Josh Hart. But you get 2 first and a second. That's not a crazy offer. I don't think the Pelicans would honestly want to do this. I don't think they would want to trade away their best player. I mean, for a player that is better, but now you're giving up additional assets. I just don't think they wouldn't think it's really that worth it to do. Oguga Ananobi says Joel Embiid, Al Horford to the Bulls. For Otto Porter, Zach LaVine, Daniel Gafford, the 4th overall pick, and 2 more firsts. I mean, for Philly's side of things, you get the 4th overall pick, Zach LaVine, and you get off of the Al Horford contract. I just don't. I mean, then I guess Chicago would have a core of Kobe White, Wendell Carter. I think they'd rather throw in Wendell Carter Jr. than the 4th overall pick, honestly, because then you could probably put Embiid at the center, obviously you would. Markkanen at the 4, Kobe White at the 1, and then you could keep the 4th overall pick to draft an Isaac Okoro or Denny Avdia to have at the 3. So I think they would prefer to do Wendell Carter Jr. over the 4th, because then you're basically giving up your best chance to get a better wing since you're losing Zach LaVine. And then Wendell Carter Jr. was just going to get replaced by Joel Embiid anyway, so I think they would prefer to do that. It is a lot for the Bulls taking on the Horford contract, giving up LaVine, 4th overall pick, and 2 firsts, but honestly, you could make a reasoning for Chicago trying to make a move like that. Joel Embiid receives retirement. Sixers received a retired jersey. Fair enough. Next, we have is a Pacers one. So Pacers get Joel Embiid. 76ers get Victor Oladipo, Miles Turner, Aaron Holiday, and 2 firsts, an additional pick or 2 if necessary. So 4 picks. Or 4 firsts. That'd be kind of crazy. But I don't think the 76ers would agree to this. Oladipo is going to be an expiring free agent. Miles Turner is looking like, I don't know, the last 2 years, he's definitely a good basketball player, but he's probably not, if you're trying to win a championship, I don't know if he could be your top 3 or your second best player, because Oladipo might leave and then he's your second best player. Now, I just don't know if they would want to do that. I think I would rather take a deal from Chicago or from New Orleans or this 3-team trade or even maybe the Nets offer than accepting this trade here, because Oladipo scares me a lot right now. So I don't know. I guess it doesn't sort it by like. So I really don't get like what's a top comment and what's not, because why are these comments in front of this one with 10 bucks? I don't know. Yeah, this doesn't really make a lot of sense, but whatever. So we got Pacers. Yeah, we kind of already talked about the Pacers. Pelicans get Embiid and Thibault. 76ers get Holiday, Redick, Hayes, 13, 20, 21. That's kind of a garbage return for the 76ers. 76ers trade Joel Embiid. Blazers trade CJ McCollum, Nasir Little, Zach Collins, and a 2022 first. You might have to do Gary Trent instead of Nasir Little. And then maybe instead of the 2022 first, it's got to be their first this year at, pick 17. I don't think the 76ers should really trade Embiid for McCollum, though, in my opinion. I don't think that's a good haul. Utah gets Joel Embiid and Zaire Smith. Philly gets Gobert, Ingles, Niang, O'Neal, and 2 firsts. Doesn't really make Philly all that better. I don't think Philly should downgrade at center, and you're getting Joe Ingles. I mean, Niang and O'Neal, these guys can all shoot, but I don't think they're really difference makers like that, and you're getting 2 firsts, but I don't know. Oladipo, Turner, Lamb, McDermott, and 2 picks. I feel like that's selling it short for Philly. I really do. Okay, here we go. We got 2 Celtics ones. We got Sixers get for Joel Embiid, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart, a first-round pick in 2020 and 2022. So that was a similar trade offer to what we talked about with James Harden in the last video. I do like this idea for both teams, because you get somebody that's not as injury prone. He was a borderline all-star this year, and elite wings are more important than elite centers, and Jaylen Brown can definitely be an elite wing next year if he's not one already. I do like that, and you get Gordon Hayward, a nice playmaker, could maybe lock him up to extension. Marcus Smart as well. Now you're just really improving your defense, and 2 firsts. I would actually, I think 100% accept that deal if I was Philly. I don't think Boston would give up that much. Maybe they would do a type of Jaylen and Hayward, and that's it. That's even a lot to think about. And 2 firsts. I don't think they would want to put Marcus Smart in here. I feel like they want to make him a Celtic for life. And I like the 76ers made it to the conference finals this year with basically not great center play. So if they really feel like to go to the finals and to win it all, they need an elite center, then think about this. And then you could roll out Kemba, Smart at the 2 if they keep Smart, Tatum, and then you have Embiid at the 5, and then you figure out your power forward. If you like it being Grant Williams, you have the 14th overall pick, because he didn't really specify what 2021st. But I think if you're the Sixers and you get offered that, I would 100% accept that for Joel Embiid. This other Celtics trade is Celtics get Embiid, Brown, Smart, Robert Williams, Langford, 2 firsts and a second. So the Celtics get to keep Gordon Hayward. I think I would swap Smart for Hayward. I think if you're the Celtics, they would want to keep Marcus Smart over Gordon Hayward. He's under control and contract for a couple more years. He's kind of a better player, I would say. At least he's obviously a better defender. Gordon Hayward is a better offensive player, but I think I'd rather have Marcus Smart than Gordon Hayward when you already have Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid. Like, these are just complementary. And Kemba Walker. Like, these are just going to be complementary pieces. Like, Gordon Hayward, because Gordon Hayward, yeah, he can score you 17 points, but you don't need that when you have Embiid, Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum all scoring 20 points. You kind of need guys to complement them and be good defenders, knock down that 3 when it's important, and that's kind of what Marcus Smart is being. So I would definitely want to keep Smart, but I think if it's Brown, Hayward, Robert Williams, Langford, 2 firsts and a second, that might be that's a little bit more than this offer here. I think this is an interesting one if you take out Marcus Smart and you just did Hayward, Brown, and 2 firsts, in my opinion. We got a Bucks one, so 76ers receive Eric Bledsoe, Middleton, Brook Lopez, and 2 firsts. I don't think Philly would accept that, honestly. Okay, we have a Warriors one, so that would be for pick 2, Pascal and Jordan Poole. I mean, if they really liked LaMelo Ball, but I would think if they had D'Lo and pick 2, they would do this, but Pascal and Poole is probably not a good enough player return. We have a Kings one from Samuel. 76ers get Buddy Hield, Bagley, Barnes, and a second-round pick. It's not good enough value. They can probably get Buddy Hield for Josh Richardson or / Al Horford in a first. Like, they don't... It's not worth getting Bagley, and they could probably trade Tobias Harris for Harrison Barnes. Like, it's not like they need to get those players for Joel Embiid. Okay, so now 76ers get the whole team. Okay, so he has actually from the Knicks, but he has a more serious offer. Steph Curry taking the time out of the day to give me some Joel Embiid trade ideas. So 76ers would get Andrew Wiggins, second overall pick, Minnesota top 3 first, and a 2021 Minnesota second. I mean, I think the Sixers would have loved that trade a lot more if that was D'Angelo Russell instead of Andrew Wiggins, but I don't see them doing that unless there was a Ja or Zion. The top 2 was that good, but LaMelo might be a bust. Anthony Edwards could be a bust. It was kind of very unlucky for Zion and Ja to be bust than the top 2 picks this year, so I think that is very risky. Suns traded DeAndre Ayton, Ricky Rubio, and 3 second-round picks for Joel Embiid. I mean, getting Aiden for Embiid is definitely something to talk about, but I think that's for Jaylen Brown. Now I need additional assets. Maybe DeAndre Aiden, Kelly Oubre, pick 10 in a future first, and then we talk, or they would want Cam Johnson maybe as well. Maybe it would have to be Aiden, Oubre, Cam Johnson, and pick 10 for Embiid and Josh Richardson or something like that. I don't know if Phoenix would do that, but I would definitely think about a return of Aiden, Oubre, pick 10 and Cam Johnson, because you get shooting with Oubre and Johnson. You get a shot creator as well in Oubre, because Aiden's obviously not as good of his offensive threat at the moment than Embiid. You also get pick 10, so you can go with a Tyrese Halliburton if he falls, or Devin Vassell, or Patrick Williams, or an Aaron Nesmith for shooting. And I don't know. I think that's a pretty good idea for the 76ers return for Embiid. I actually really like that trade. That of the Celtics ones definitely are my favorite for the return for the 76ers. I just don't know if Phoenix would want to do that, because you're giving up a lot for Embiid, who is under contract. Yes, and now you have Embiid and Booker. Probably makes you a playoff team. You still keep Rubio. Maybe you can still try to talk them out of Cam or Oubre, and you give them Mikal Bridges instead of Oubre, or something like that. I'm just trying to come up with ideas. So we have a Wizards one. Thomas Bryant. Oh, so he's trying to do a trade where they keep Beal. Okay, Thomas Bryant, Ish Smith, Hashimura, Troy Brown, Bonga. This year's first at 9. 2022 top 5. Yeah, that's not a good enough return for Philly. Okay, so we have a Mavericks. Oh, we have a Memphis one. Valanciunas, Brooks, Josh Jackson, a first and 2 seconds. I'm sorry, but you might have to include Jaren Jackson Jr. I don't know. Not Valanciunas, not worth it at all. Dylan Brooks, he's good, but how much better is he? Or he's not really better than Josh Richardson. Josh Jackson, no. And then a first and 2 seconds that are going to be lower in the draft. I don't think that's a good enough return for Memphis. We got a Mavericks one, a KP Curry. I mean, a KP for Embiid trade is very interesting. I don't think Dallas would want to do this, though, because they wouldn't want Al Horford, because they would still want a max contract in 2021. But an idea of a KP for Embiid trade is an intriguing idea. Definitely, because KP is a better shooter, so you surround Simmons with a better shooter than Embiid. You could say KP is also on the same level defensively. I would say Embiid is definitely the better player. But that is interesting, because then you get Seth Curry, you could shoot, Dwight Powell could shoot at 2021, so interesting. 76ers one, a Nets one, where they get Dinwiddie, Lance Thomas, LeVert, Allen, and 2 firsts. So yeah, Dinwiddie, LeVert, Allen, and 2 firsts is a generous return. I don't know if Philly would accept that, though, so I think that's about it. Yeah, we've gone over a lot of these. We've gone over Wizards, Kings, Warriors, Celtics, Suns, Pelicans, Bulls, but I think my favorite trades are the Celtics ones we talked about and the Phoenix Suns ones. But yeah, if I was the 76ers, I would not trade Embiid or Simmons this offseason. I would definitely look to try to acquire a Buddy Hield or a Chris Paul using Josh Richardson, Al Horford, or Tobias Harris. If you guys are enjoying this kind of mini-series, drop a like. If you guys want to see more, let me know in the comments any trades you agree with, disagree with, and let me know who we should do next. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.